some northern states of the country this year. Activities of bandits in some of the states will also affect food production in the region, according to experts. What are the possible effects and what is the way forward? This and more on Panorama, coming to you from Sapoto Network Center. I am Sadia Umbadiki. The Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, has described as erroneous, misleading and mischievous the insinuation of some quarters that the national grid collapsed 5 times this year alone, putting the record straight after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari on the situation in the power sector. The minister was emphatic that the grid never collapsed under his watch. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, was in the State House to bring President Muhammadu Buhari up to speed on the level of execution of the Siemens power deal with Nigeria. The implementation agreement signed in 2019 with the German consortium is aimed at improving the quantity and quality of power supply in the country for sustainable growth and development of the economy.
I'm glad to share with you now that yesterday we have performed the equipment factory acceptance test of the 10 Mobitra transformers. September 2 of them will arrive, October 2 of them will arrive, November 3, December 2, January 1. Then the 10 mobile substations will start arriving in January up to through to May. I want to assure Nigerians that we are on top of the situation. We should all have patience, and inshallah we will deliver despite all the challenges around. So Siemens is going on well, being delivered in 3 phases. First phase 7,000 megawatts, second phase 11,000, the third phase 25,000 megawatts. Simply, the president says he's happy. He has been seeing our hard work. As a result of the hard work, he has seen the result.
The minister, who also briefed the president on the frequent power outages experienced recently in the country, said his ministry is not leaving anything to chance towards achieving stability on the national grid. He, however, said, contrary to the widely held belief in some quarters, the outages were not as a result of the national grid collapse.
Once you say something has collapsed, it takes time to resuscitate that thing.
So what is it called if it is not grid collapse?
Yes, I want to say it is a grid disturbance, which we have experienced 5 times, not 7 times. Why I say grid disturbance? The grid stands, but once something affects it, certain power plants will shut down and take away some quantity of electricity abruptly. And once that happens, the grid will wobble, the frequency will change, and for the grid to be safe from damage, it will sense that frequency fluctuation and it will start shutting down. The plants will shut down, the whole grid will shut down. And when that happens, our engineers and the control center will isolate that particular problem area, and immediately 30 minutes we will start returning back the grid. The grid has never stayed for that long that it could be termed grid collapse. We are doing a lot of interventions. We are bringing a lot of reforms into the sector to ensure that we provide electricity to Nigerians, to take it to a level where it will support the economy of $500 billion and a population of over 200 million.
Abubakar Aliyu assured Nigerians that fixing the power sector as a key priority for the Buhari presidency is a task that must be done. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Government agencies responsible for implementing excise duties have engaged contributors in the telecommunication industry to deepen their understanding on the amended section of the Customs and Excise Traffic Consolidation Act. The Act demands a 5% excise duty on all telecom services. Chidinma Ndebisi.
The Finance Act of 2020 introduced excise duty on telecommunications services. 1st of June 2022 was to be the D-Day to kickstart the 5% payment by all telecommunications operators on both prepaid and postpaid services. However, telecommunication operators say they are still grappling with payment of other taxes, and a new one will lead to job losses.
We have that of the 7.5. If you add this to it, it will be 12.5. It will be the consumer that will bear the cost. There will be unemployment. It does not all go well with us. And what industry needs is even government support.
Concerns raised needed to be clarified. So, the agencies responsible for collecting this excise duty are interfacing with all involved in the telecom business to achieve a seamless implementation.
We are responsible for ensuring that industry stakeholders understand the fiscal and other obligations.
We're not making as much revenue as we're supposed to make from oil as we used to be, because of the global trend. Attention is shifting gradually to on-oil revenue.
At the first of end of the month, that is after 12 midnight, you can pay. We'll collect it. You can pay on the 1st, but you can't pay later than 21st of the following month.
Though new in Nigeria, tax on telecom services is practiced in other countries, some even at rates higher than that of Nigeria. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
Sultan of Sokoto Muhammad Saad Abubakar has declared Saturday 30th of July 2022 as the first day of Muharram 1444 after Hijrah. This was contained in a statement signed by the Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs Sultanate Council, Sokoto, Professor Sambawali Junaid. The statement says the Sultanate Council Committee, National and other moon sighting committees did not receive any report of sighting of the new moon of Muharram on Thursday, which is the 29th of Zulhajj, 1443 after Hijrah. The Sultan facilitates with Nigerian Muslims and wish them Allah's guidance and blessings in the new year. Sultan Saad also urged Muslim Ummah to continue to pray for peace, progress and development of the country. Utmost performance, professionalism and strict adherence to ECOWAS tenets should be the guiding principles of all mission observers for the Senegal legislative election. The head of the mission, former Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, Kadri Odrego, said this during his introduction with all ECOWAS observers to the election. Haman Jabani reports.
The 14th legislative election of the Republic of Senegal is billed for 31st July 2022, and ECOWAS has sent its observer mission ahead of the date to interact with stakeholders for a successful election. It is in light of this that the head of the mission, former Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, Kadri Ouedraogo, without missing words, says the success of the election is not for the Senegalese, but for the sub-region.
I count on every one of the delegates for us to discharge ably from this responsibility that has been given to us. And I am quite confident that given the experience and the background of every observer here, we are going to achieve a very successful mission here in Dakar, to appeal to the Senegalese people and all the stakeholders to hold this election peacefully and by the standard of ECOWAS.
This parliamentary election is an important step in the consolidation of democracy, not only in Senegal, but elsewhere. The lessons learned from the process will serve the West African sub-region.
The observer mission received briefs from various teams on the political situation and the importance of the election towards the sustenance of democratic principles, observation methodology and deployment plan. The head of the mission is expected to meet with the National Electoral Body and other stakeholders before the conduct of the election. From Dakar, Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
have friends. Who is your friend? Well, friendship is designed to bridge the gap between factors such as race, language, and culture. Hence, the International Day of Friendship observed on the 30th of July every year is a special day that goes beyond connecting people and building bridges among cultures, countries, and even ideologies. Yuri John reports.
The world is getting tougher by the day, with the clash of interest, leading to miscommunication, mistreatment, lack of trust, discrimination, and cultural discord. Hence, the need to prioritize peace and build friendship. Mariam Abubakar and Ekenedili Chukwu Okoye, though from different regions, have been friends for over a decade.
I'm from Edo, she's Igbo, and we're happy. We're good friends, friends that look out for each other, friends that watch each other's back. That's the kind of friendship we share.
I believe that the passion we both share is what has kept our bond together. Don't forget that friendship, we really should be sharing a bond with someone, whether it's a social friend, whether it's a friend for fun.
Friends are very important for physical and mental health at all stages of life, even in individual differences. Physical appearances, differences of opinions, political views, taste, and so much more, one can still find a common ground to build friendship.
Friendship, it's a bond between two people or many people, and that bond doesn't just come. It comes through trust, people that have proven themselves to be trustworthy and loyal to each other and all that.
Friend is someone, simply put, you can count on, someone you can call up and depend on, someone you can ask for a favor without batting an eyelid.
There's a saying that says birds of the same feather flocks together. First, before I become your friend, we have to have the same ideology. We have to have the same thinking, the same drive.
What kind of friend are you? If you can answer that question sincerely, I'm sure the world will be a better place for everyone.
Let's learn to bury our greed. Let's leave greediness. As long as greediness leave our heart, friendship at every level will wax strong forever.
Friendship is a basic tool to make the world prosperous and peaceful, and it is also key to maintaining social harmony and mildness among societies. By developing the trends of friendship among people, societies, and countries, we can achieve a better level of stability and solidarity, as well as minimize the amount of hatred and disdain spread throughout the world. The 2022 World Friendship Day focuses on sharing the human spirit through friendship. In Abuja, Ian Ray John, NTA News.
More on Panorama. Please stay with us.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Glad you're still there. Governor Amin Waziri Tambuwal has challenged people, particularly the rural communities, to ensure maximum support to security operatives to achieve their mandate of securing lives and properties of the citizens. Tambuwal was speaking when he paid condolence visit to Duma communities in Tureta local government area of Sokoto State. Shehu Muhammad Datti reports.
The communities of Duma village in Tureta local government were recently attacked by hundreds of non-gunmen. The attackers, according to reports, killed 28 people, many sustained various degrees of injuries, and rustled many cows. Governor Tambuwal, accompanied by heads of security agencies and top government officials, described the attack as unfortunate. He stated that tackling security issues is very critical and requires holistic approach and the active participation of all. The role of communities is vital as they need to support security operatives with early signs of possible attack and expose informants among them. He called for consistent prayers for God's intervention in all the negative happenings in the country.
Cooperation with the security agencies, of course, includes exposing those who are giving information, bad eggs amongst us that are giving information to the bandits. They are a very, very stress problem in this fight against banditry. We must therefore expose them, even if they are your relations or your children. You are obliged to really expose them for us and for the communities to have peace.
Tambuwal also directed for immediate release of relief materials to the affected communities. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Nigerian government have been urged to evolve measures aimed at mitigating the effects of banditry and early cessation of rainfall predicted by Nigerian Meteorological Agency on the country's food security. This came to the fore at a press conference convened by a non-governmental organization, Sasakawa Alumni Usman Danfodiyo University, Sokoto chapter. Shehu Muhammad Datti completes the report.
According to the prediction by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, apart from delayed onset of rainfall in some northern states from May to August 2022, dry spells of different degrees of severity, ranging from mild to severe, are predicted for states that include Adamawa, Benue, Kogi, Ekiti, Kwara, Niger, FCT, Kaduna, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Gombe, and parts of Katsina, Jigawa, Yobe, Borno, Nasarawa, and Plateau states. The NAMED prediction also indicates that there will be drought and hunger, especially in the northwest region of Nigeria, due to delayed onset of rainfall and its shortage, coupled with the banditry which had forced many farmers to abandon their farms.
We make sure that all places within and around our homes, our schools, our offices, and other unutilized public places are cultivated with either legumes or vegetables.
The press conference highlighted the need for Central Bank of Nigeria and other commercial banks to support farmers and all other Nigerians to enable them access loans in the interest of enhancing the country's food security. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
And now to our discussion segment. With me in the studio is Dr. Akimu Barrow from the Faculty of Agriculture, Usman Danfodiyo University, to discuss on effect of banditry and early cessation of rainfall on farming activities in the north. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So, sir, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted early cessation of rainfall with different degrees of severity. Can you give us an insight into the prediction?
Welcome, viewers. Going by the prediction of the NAMED for the seasonal climate prediction of NAMED in 2022, it is predicted that not only in the northern part of the country, but across the country, there will be varying degree of the rate or the duration within which the rainfall will cease. Now, if you take, for instance, the northern part of the country, it was predicted by NAMED that states that include Yobe, Bauchi, Plateau, Nasarawa, they are likely to have early cessation of rainfall. While going down south, you find states like Cross River in the south-south, and you also find in the southwest states like Oyo, Anambra in the southeast. They are all states that are predicted to have early cessation of rainfall. And what this means is that what farmers usually used to cultivate, the crops, they are likely not to be fully mature before the rain goes.
Okay.
Now, if that is the case, and looking at the fact that most of our farmers rely on the traditional knowledge rather than the climate information provided by the respective agencies, then it is likely that the output or the yield of crops this year is going to be reduced.
So apart from the rain pattern, there is also banditry in some states of the north. What could be the effects of that on food security?
I think when we talk of banditry and its relationship with the availability of food or food security, it is something that is very glaring to almost everyone. Because the relationship between the food security and insecurity, human insecurity, these are things that are intertwined. What I mean by intertwined is that either could cause the other. When you have human insecurity, when you have insecurities, issues that has to do with banditry, then people are likely not to have the opportunity to cultivate their lands. And most of these people are rural people. And the bulk of food we consume in this country or even globally is food that is largely cultivated from the rural areas. And that could trigger higher competition for limited food resources in the country, and that will also lead to increase of the banditry, besides the increase in the shortage of the food that will be cultivated, that will be produced in there. Similarly, when you have less food supply, then the steep competition will also create a certain degree of increased level of banditry. So either could cause the other, and it is not going to augur well for the population.
Okay, so what should government do to mitigate these effects?
Now, there are certain things that the government could do, and I wouldn't want us to think that it is only the government responsibility. It is the responsibility of each and every one of us. That of the government is more of policy. And it has been long in this country, you find that in most of these institutions that are saddled with responsibility of things that have to do with food or agriculture, and those that play the complementary role, such like the NIMET, the hydrological agency, they do not work in harmony. How do I mean? I mean that they do not come together to bring out solutions that are translated in the language that the farmer understands. For instance, we take Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Agricultural Research Institution, as well as the extension system, each work independently. And if you take organizations or agencies like NIMET and Hydrological Agency, all these that play complementary, they need to come together. When they come together and come up with a common voice that affects the crop, if it has to do with the research institution, such like the IR in Nigeria, that has to do with the climate prediction, if it has to do with money, that has to do with the water availability in there, if it has to do with respect to the hydrological agency. If these organizations can come together, government will make them work together and come up with a common voice, then it will be easy for the farmers to assimilate. Moreover, the extension system in the country is nearly absent. And unless this action is taken by the government and the extension system is boosted and the information is passed across to the farmers who are the cultivators in the field, then I think that we still have a long way to go.
Okay. Yeah. So what can the farmers do on their own part, maybe in the on the part of maybe the method or the seedlings?
The rainy season has already started, and some have already planted their crops, except a few, those that maybe cultivate the legumes like the soybean and coffee. I think these are the only remaining crops in most parts of, especially northern part of the country, that are yet to be planted. So the season has already started, rainfall has already on. The only thing that farmers could do now are to adopt 2 or 3 measures. One is that the crops that are yet to be planted, they need to get early maturing.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Akin, we have to cut it short here because of time. Thank you very much for coming on Panorama.
You're welcome.
All right. Up next is sport updates with Griff George.
From Team Nigeria at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, Nigeria men's table tennis team will take on Cyprus Saturday night in the third group match after defeating Ghana and South Africa. In boxing, Nigeria's Bolale Shogbamu will take on Jody Wilkinson of the United Kingdom, while Afeez Oshoba squares up against Cahill of the Bahamas. In football, 50 years after the demise of the late Teslim Thunder Balogun, stakeholders in the Nigerian football circle have re-emphasized the importance of recognizing and rewarding Nigerian football heroes, which they describe as key in achieving meaningful development. Nigerian Football Federation President, among other dignitaries, including former Super Eagles coach Adegboye Onigbide, described the football icon as one of the greatest footballers the country has ever produced.
We need to celebrate, immortalize him, and put it in our historic records.
He was intelligent, very intelligent, as a player and as a coach.
The school sports, the Lagos State Sports Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, has flagged up the pilot edition of the Lagos School Sports Intervention Program, an initiative to reintegrate sports back to the school's curriculum.
It is not just for us to teach them how to play the games, but it's important for them to learn the career benefits and opportunities that are available in sports.
About 35 students from the Lagos Island community have been given the opportunity to get scholarships if they develop their talents in the sport of fencing. This was at the Community Fencing Cup, put together by Fit Sports Nigeria, an arm of the Nigerian Fencing Federation. The initiative has seen about 12,000 students from various schools in Lagos taught the rudiments of fencing.
We are merging the two people parts together, sport and education. We're giving them an opportunity for scholarship, some of the best schools in Nigeria. We're giving them the opportunity to learn in this sport.
The traditional curtain raiser for the new 2022-2023 English Premier League season kicks off on Saturday evening as English Premier League champions Manchester City takes on FA Cup champions Liverpool at the King Power Stadium.
This panorama this afternoon. Remember to connect with NTA Stand Against Rape and Rapists. Be a star. Good afternoon.